Hey guys, kembali lagi di podcast Dejet, podcastnya orang-orang Dota di Indonesia. Game yang kata komunitas pesimis di Indonesia udah mati, tapi padahal masih rame-rame aja sih sebenarnya. Dan bahkan Indonesia sendiri udah punya wakilnya di dunia internasional di 2 tahun terakhir, baik tim maupun organisasi. Daripada lama-lama dengerin intro, mendingan kita langsung ketemu aja sama bintang tamu kita di episode kali ini.
Alright. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to my podcast channel on the Papa Dejet channel, of course, and with me. And today we have a special guest, the CEO of ZEN Esports. We call him Trent because he want me to call him Trent with no other preferences. So, Trent, welcome to my podcast channel. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me on today.
It's
really
my pleasure.
appreciate the time.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, sir. It's my pleasure. Should I put a Sir Trent before I call you Trent?
No,
Because...
sir. No, sir. Just Trent. Trent is fine.
Trent is fine. Okay, then. Okay, you can call me just Dejet then. Yeah. So again, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I tried to contact you through your social media guy, Risky.
Yes.
Actually, he's having a same hometown with me, just a couple of blocks away from my house, so it's kind of near from me. Yes, I just know that a couple of weeks ago when I do a podcast with your head coach of the team of ZEN Esports. So a little bit background story before I before I finally able to speak with you. So yeah, let's start the question and answer here because
sounds good.
Okay, quite exciting to speak with you. But before we start, why don't I start giving you a minute to introduce yourself as a CEO of ZEN Esports? The time is yours, Trent.
Perfect. No worries. So, Risky, the person that you've spoken to from our social media, and he's actually the manager of our team. So he lives in Indonesia. Obviously, I don't live in Indonesia. I am actually from Australia. So I've always had a background in Dota and esports. I have never been able to play professionally just because of my work commitments. However, I do watch every TI and every event that I can in the Dota industry, and it gives me a great excitement knowing that we're slowly building our own team and working towards making it successful and giving 5 or 6 people in Indonesia a great opportunity for actually progressing themselves further as well.
Okay, that's a good background story. And you mentioned about that you are Australian, and your at least 2 of your guy that I speak previously, Kevin and also Kevin Vizeri or Risky, the one that I speak in the first place too, that having a near place to me, is also Indonesian, and you are Australian. I mean, like, you're not even Indonesian. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but
Yes.
the organization that you're trying to build is a lot of Indonesian people. Is there any
Yes.
reason that you pick Indonesian as your right hand as a manager and the social media guy, and then you pick your left hand, Kevin Vizeri, as a team coach, and all the teams is Indonesian player, Indonesian flag carrier? Is there any particular reason of that decision?
Well, I think from watching a lot of Dota, I believe the Indonesian Dota scene is one of the best in Southeast Asia. There's a lot of really great players and great talent. One of the things I've found in the Southeast Asian Dota scene is that the Australian player market is very small, and it's not to a level that we actually see in the central sort of Southeast Asian area. And that sort of brought me to have a discussion with Risky, who was advertising on Twitter one day about looking to manage a team. And I offered Risky and myself to go into business together, where he would be the man on the ground. So he would manage and run the team. And then I would also be like an owner or a part owner with him. And I would essentially be like a main sponsor to ensure that he has the correct funding and the correct money to be able to progress the team and ensure that our players are paid a good salary and a good wage to make sure that they can actually play at the professional level without having too much stress within their own personal lives as well. So we have only just started. We are very new. However, we're ambitious to sort of progress more within the Indonesian scene, because there is a trend forming that we believe that can be filled with, really great young Indonesian talent coming through.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. And on my next question about Zen itself as a whole organization, right now you just the game title that you own right now that I know currently is only Dota 2 team. Is there any other game title that ZEN Esports gonna build in the future?
Yeah, so not at the moment. What we would like to do is start off slow. We don't want to just bite off too much and then not be able to actually handle what we're doing. So we started in Dota because Risky and myself, we both have a passion for the game. We understand the game very, very well. But most importantly, we've got the ability of managing 5 great players and hopefully a really great coach that can take that team right through into, qualifiers and all the rest, and right up into some great competitions and start to get some wins on the board. So our main focus is Dota 2, but as we advance as a team, it's likely that we will expand a bit more.
Okay. Okay, so you're gonna start slow with the Dota team until you find a success point, and then you trying to expand your wings to other game titles. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's great. That's great. And back to the Dota 2 teams right now. All the Indonesian, all the players is coming from Indonesia. Is there because you're an Australian? Because a lot of CEO that I speak previously, they always want to put at least one player that coming as the same region as the CEO, because it's gonna be the golden boy, for example. Is there not any one single player from Australia that caught on your eyes currently, or even you can say that Australian Dota is already dying over there. No more regeneration after, let's say, QO, or who else? The caster that already.
Well, the thing I find with Australian Dota players, the really talented ones like Anna and obviously Damien KP, they're already very established within the industry. It's very hard to bring a player like that into an esports brand that's just starting out, because they are much more likely to work with a very established team. So maybe in the future we can definitely work with those higher end Dota 2 players in Australia. But for now, what we've found is we would like to work with the local Indonesian team that Risky and Vizri have put together, and give them the ability of growing together as a team. And what I have found from a fair bit of research coming out of the South American teams is that they play together for a long time. The roster is very consistent and they become very close. And that means that their teamwork in the game becomes a lot better as well. So hopefully we can enable our players to become a team and not just be jumping around between organizations, and feel like they belong somewhere. So that's the main reason for taking on 5 Indonesians, because they are all living in close proximity, sort of in the main city, Jakarta. And that means that they can work together, scrim together, and it really gives them the ability of advancing a bit easier.
Okay. Okay, that's a good reason, good answer. And so on my next question will be on your result of the open qualifier. You've been trying like 4 times, which is all the open qualifier. You have been tried to qualify to the close qualifier, but I'm not the one that have the right to talk or maybe speak about the results. So I want to give you time to talk about it, to take some reflection. What is this result means to you as the owner of the and also the CEO of the ZEN Esports, for the new organization that just start in the Dota scenes. Trent, back to you.
I really like the result. The team, they're all young. They've all been together for, the best part of 7 days before we actually started the open qualifiers. And, I wasn't expecting to get into the closed or, make it the whole way through by any means. It was more of a case of the team forming and drafting in a way that we could see progress. And from our initial games right through to the end, every time I saw the guys play, they all worked together and they all wanted to progress more and more. And outside of the open qualifiers in between each day that we weren't playing, they were versing some other teams in the open qualifiers to really progress as well. So for me, it was a really, really great result. We made the top 16 twice, and we had some really good wins in some great games. And we also had some really great games versus some quite hard teams that actually made it through the open qualifiers. But that showed me that if we can put up a good fight versus some of the better teams in the open qualifiers, it's likely the next time we come round after a fair bit more practice together, we're going to have a much better chance of making maybe the top 8 or even getting closer to winning the open qualifiers at least one of the times.
Okay, okay. So that's also mean that in the near future you're gonna stick with the current rooster.
Well, yes, we would like to, so long as
Okay.
the guys all consistently want to work together and keep progressing. I think they're all a very young and adventurous group of guys, and they're all working hard to better themselves at Dota. Some of them are ranked quite high as well, and I think that shows that they have individual capabilities of being good at Dota. And what we now need to do is teach them how to work as a team of 5 and put that skill into a party MMR essentially, and make sure that they can work as a unit and progress together. Because it's one thing to be a great individual Dota player, but if you can't play as part of 5, it does become challenging to progress as a team.
Okay,
So
okay.
we'll just be following how the players are going, and so long as they're comfortable and they're happy and they're wanting to progress, then we'll keep it that way.
Okay, okay. So you trying to really trying to create this organization from the scratch. I mean, like nothing like a buying slot to the DPC. I mean, like no. I'm not trying to disrespect all your players, but all your players is a new young blood. Not
Correct.
yeah. I mean, like none of them is veteran players or maybe a superstar player that coming from Indonesia
No.
or maybe Southeast Asia. So you're trying to create it from the scratch. You want them to grow together, to feel all the struggle together, feel the success together. That's what you mean, right?
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And it is hard because, December and Fier are both in school, doing uni, studying. So for them to commit hours every day to practicing is quite challenging. So we're not expecting them to be able to play Dota for 12 or 14 hours a day. We're just saying that, if we're progressing together and slowly becoming better, then that's, a really good scenario for us. And it assists those players as well. And, they get a bit more of an income instead of just playing by themselves and not actually earning any money. At least they've got an organization that they can play with now, earn a bit of money whilst also studying and progressing themselves as well.
Okay, okay. And the last time I heard from Kevin on my podcast with him that Zen still not providing the bootcamp because of the one or maybe two of the players that Zen Esports having right now still doing a study, still going to the school or maybe to the college. Is that the main reason that you're not at least for now providing the bootcamp because the players is not even available for doing that? And in the future, are you gonna provide that for the players?
Yeah, so that's something that we really want to do. Overall, we were going to set it up before the open qualifiers this time around, but we had a couple of players that it was too difficult being away because of obviously schooling,
Okay.
uni, and that type of thing. So it does make it challenging, but for us, we've also got to work towards making sure the players are comfortable. Like if we said that they had to do boot camp and they had to be away for 4 or 5 days, it would not have been a really good fit for them mentally. So yes, in the future, we would love to be able to do boot camps with everyone and for them to play together and stay together and really be able to bond a bit more as well. But right now, it's probably not on the cards until we get to a point where everyone is going to be fully comfortable and on board with it. And then we'll start setting up those type of things.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's gonna be boost the morale and also the mentality of the players, of course, because if they playing together at the same places, same time, together every after the scrim. They can discuss it together at the same place. It's gonna be more exciting for them and also boost their mental for the next games, the next time to the next progress for them. I think that's gonna be a perfect start for ZEN Esports. And my next question is maybe just silly question. Are you gonna be visiting Indonesia one time to visit all your players and also the management?
Hopefully, yes. I would like to at some stage next year. I do have a fair bit of work commitments in Australia. However,
Okay.
at some stage I'll definitely be over to obviously set foot and have a look around and meet the guys and see how everyone is personally. So yeah, no, it's absolutely on the cards, but in the near future, over the next probably 2 or 3 months, probably not. It might be towards the middle of next year or something.
Sure, that's great. That's great. And back to my previous question about the result of the Open qualifier, because right now you are not qualified for the at least Tour One DPC for the early 2023 next year. What are you guys planning? I mean, like again, you're a new organization. Not every even organizer in Southeast Asia or maybe in Indonesia gonna give you an invitation for the invitation tournament online invitation tournament and everything. What is your plan as a CEO? Are you having like uh, a roadmap that you already speak with your team? This is what we're gonna do this, do that before we aiming for the tour second tour of the DPC next year.
So I leave most of that up to the coach, Visery, and then also Risky.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them have the capabilities and understanding of where we need to be getting to.
Okay.
I do speak to Risky on a daily basis through WhatsApp and then online as well. We have a few Zooms and conversations. So it is sort of hands-on, but I allow them to do what they need to do to obviously get us into the right progress for the team as well, because yeah, we would like to compete, and hopefully there are tournaments out there that do invite us and they can see that we are progressing and we are a team that, can obviously offer a great deal of entertainment as well.
Okay. All right. Last but not least, any shout out to the fans out there that watching this podcast? Since a lot of people in Dota 2 community really exciting, especially from Indonesian fans on your Twitter. Really appreciate that you guys come out as a new Indonesian organization to the Dota pro scene in Southeast Asia or even in Indonesia, especially. So yeah, back again to you, Trent. Any shout out?
Yeah, well, just follow us and stick with us as we progress. Everyone progresses together, and we'll take the fans for a ride. Hopefully, as we get into some more tournaments and people are watching, they get excited with the progress that they're seeing with our players, and get behind them, because development of a player doesn't happen in 2 or 3 days. It happens over 2 or 3 years, and then once they become the Dreamer Cell, then obviously everyone has heard about them, but you don't hear about them until they become really, really good in the Dota scene. So hopefully in the next few years we can really progress a bit more as a team.
Okay. Hopefully everything goes well. Everything goes to the plans of yours and also all the teams. All the best for you and ZEN Esports, Trent. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we can speak again about the next progress, or maybe the recap of the first quarter of the 2023. Because hopefully I really want all the Indonesian player and also Indonesian organization have a good result in the first Q of the 2023. So hopefully you guys have a good result too, and having a good roadmap for second DPC tour 2023. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much. Thank you
See
so
you
much,
later.
sir, and bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Cheers. Thank you.